you, Don. Before I introduce our speaker, NASA announced today, since they found water on Mars, they're going to commit $400 million to try to find water in California.
Maybe we can build a pipeline.
Our speaker today comes to us from Debbie Peck. Debbie heard our speaker, Sarah Holtzclaw, speak and raved about her, and we were very fortunate to have her speak to us today. She has a bachelor's degree from Lewis and Clark, an MBA from Portland State. She has taught at Ohlone College of Business. Her husband is a dean of science and engineering at Ohlone. They live in Portland. They live in Pleasanton, have 3 children. And she's the program manager of Trout Valley One-Stop Career Center. She's been there since January. So Sarah, come on up and tell us all about the program.
Thank you for having me today. I'm always looking for opportunities to tell people about the One Stop because for some reason people don't realize it, even though we've been around for 15 years. All right, I'm going this direction. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right, now Al gave me some instructions on this, so we'll see if I follow instructions well. So, Tri Valley One-Stop Career Center, we're located in Dublin, and I'm just going to go through some of the things that we do because we seem to be the best kept secret in the valley. So, like I said, we've been around since 1998. So, we're in Pleasanton, now in Dublin, but we cover the entire Tri-Valley. So, I'm looking for opportunities like this to just spread the word and outreach to people. At the Career Center, we are always telling our clients that you need a 30-second elevator speech. Has anybody ever heard of the elevator speech? Yeah. It's the opportunity to tell somebody about yourself within the floors of an elevator, right? So that you need to have something really succinct, and you have to have it so that it's succinct and it's to the point, and you're going to be able to tell people who you are, what you're looking for, and that sort of thing. So mine, I try to get it down to basically just a few words. But we connect people to jobs and to job training. That's basically our I'm going to walk around too much, and that's going to not come. That's going to be done. So we are, I did a graphic here just to show you a little bit about how we connect people. We are the connection between the job seeker, the employer, and then we bring the partners in like yourselves in to the center, and that's kind of our sweet spot. The other way of saying it is that we're an employment matchmaker. So, and I'll show you how we do that. Another way of saying it is that on the employment coin, we're 2 sides of the same coin. The job seeker and the employer. And on my screen at the office, all of the employers were all on one line. Fonts did not come across, so I apologize. So we are part of several different networks of job centers. There is an entire network of American Job Centers across the country called the American Job Centers. We happen to be one of the American Job Centers of California. There are over 3,000 job centers across the country like us. And we're all guided by 2 or 3 different federal laws. The first one is the Wagner-Pizer Act, which was actually passed in 1933 by FDR. And it basically says that there needs to be a public space for employment services. So that is the basics of our site, is that we are a space for people to look for jobs. The second federal law that we are mandated under and that most of our funding comes from is called the Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act. It is the grandchild of a couple other acts. The first one was the Job Training back from 1982. So there's, Clinton put in a job training act, and then 82, is that 82? No, that's Reagan, is 82? Reagan's 92, so no. All right, so my history is not all that. I have it all written down. 80s is so at any rate, this last July, the Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act came into being. It is the morphing of the Workforce Investment Act, or WIA, and now it's WIOA. So when you see, yeah, it's very confusing. But we'll go through that, and I'll show you kind of what those do for us. So those are our guiding principles, and that's kind of our funding. Of those 3,000 job centers across the country, there are a multitude just here in the Bay Area, and in fact there are 14 of us just in the East Bay. And we are all part of a smaller network called the East Bay Works. And basically it's just sharing of resources, sharing of a website in particular, our database, our job center database, and working together to bring, because we are such a mobile society, and people don't care if they live in Danville whether or not the job center is in Dublin. They're going to go to the closest one. And so we share our information, we share our resources, and that sort of thing. Within this two-county area, there are another 4 groups called Workforce Investment Boards. There are 49 investment boards in the state of California, and they are funded, and I'll kind of show you the funding, but we are part of Alameda counties. In Alameda County, there are 4, Alameda County, Oakland has its own Workforce Investment Board, Contra Costa has its own, and the city of Richmond has its own. So those are the 4 that make up the 14 one-stops. And A through E, or A through D, are part of my consortium, my Alameda County Workforce Investment Board. Stop me if you have questions. Me in particular and the Tri-Valley One-Stop have 2 locations. Like I said, we're in Dublin. We're off of Village Parkway. Just recently moved to Dublin. We were in Pleasanton for a number of years. We are part of the Chabot Las Positas Community College District. So we also have a site at the community college. We were housed in the district office in Pleasanton, and when they sold that building, they took the office out from under us, and we decided to find a location that was more accessible to the public. So we're walking distance from the West Dublin BART station, about a 15-minute walk, and then we have also several Wheels bus stops that are close to us for people for public transportation. So I kind of wanted to back up just a little bit. These was such a pretty slide when I did it. It was so pretty. So all of those were different colors. At any rate, this is the recent August unemployment. So you think, okay, so Alameda County's unemployment is, well, it's 6.1. And all of those, so these all had their own little cities too. Those last 2 are Contra Costa, 33.9. Oh, there was a pointer on this thing, wasn't there? Yeah. Oh, technology is incredible. So this first one is national unemployment for August. It's adjusted, seasonally adjusted. The next one is the state of California, 6.1. Alameda County is 4.8. Contra Costa County is 5.0. And then these next 4, actually that's Sunol, Pleasanton, Livermore, and Dublin. Castro Valley is 4.2. And then these 2 are Danville and San Ramon. This line right here represents what the technical term, what the economists say is full employment. So about 5%, yeah. Anywhere between 6 and 3, I picked 5. So you think, this is the employment picture of the Tri-Valley right now. So you think, why do we need a career center, and why am I actually busier than I was 6 or 8 months ago? One is because we're outreaching more and people are learning more about us. But 2 is that there is hidden unemployment in there. And there is a cycle to unemployment, right? So this is from 2004 all the way up to, well, it says 19, but that's not true. It's from 2000. This is really odd. This actually is, oh, dang it. Technology.
Let's see.
Yeah, technology.
There you go.
So I actually think that starts at 2000 and goes to 2015. So I don't really have the unemployment for August of 19 yet. It'll give me 4 years and I'll give you August of 19. And the different colors represent the state, the national, and the 2 different counties. Blue is Alameda County. And just 3 years ago, 5 years ago, we were at 11.2%. So there is a cycle to, right now it is a job seekers, if you think of the buyer, seller in the home industry, in the home selling, we are at a job seekers market right now. Plenty of jobs to go around. It's the qualified applicants that they're looking for. And so in that unemployment, like I said, there is hidden unemployment. There are people who took jobs when the economy went sour and haven't been able to get back to those. They lost their jobs and took a job that was lower than what they had been making. So their salary they've lost some of their salary. They're taking 2 jobs to meet to make ends meet and that sort of thing. So we are working not only for the people that have just been laid off, but for those hidden unemployment people too. This is the growth, and I'm sorry it's small. It wasn't small on my computer screen this morning. This is the estimated growth for the region, for the 3 different cities in the county of Alameda. Can you see these, Billy? Okay. So Dublin is supposed to grow 50% in the next 25 years.
From what it is now.
From what it is now, yes. For all that, so that's the reason they're building so much, right?
That's why it's called Dublin. Doubling in size.
That they're building so much so that they can grow. Livermore's going to grow up. Livermore and Pleasanton both 25% more than what we have. And we have great jobs. We have good employers coming into the area. But those people are going to at some time need jobs too. So we are working in getting ready for this growth as well. This is by age group. And it goes from 0 to 85, and you can see this was 2015, and then it's projected out to 2035. The green is the 35 projection. And you can kind of see just the migration of the blue bars to the green bar, as where the green bars are. As baby boomers age, and as those in the prime of their working careers right now, in their 45s, and that's 35s, 45s are just are growing older. And then there's also the growth in this is all Alameda County, not specific cities. I love data, so I always absorb this stuff pretty well. So this is what we're working for. This is what we're doing, and why there's a need for the Tri-Valley One Stop. So the Tri-Valley One Stop is funded through the Alameda County Workforce Investment Board. 60% of our funding comes from the Workforce Investment Board via the federal government. And the remaining 30% and 30% of the remaining comes from the Las Positas district. So obviously it comes from Washington, goes to Sacramento, goes to Alameda County, and then to us. And everybody takes its little bit of, it's cut of the. So we don't get a ton. So in order to make some up, we also get some funding from the cities. We get funding from the state, and we get funding from United Way for some of our programs. Any questions thus far? Okay, so what do we do? I'm going to just kind of briefly go through each one of these things. So what do we do for the job seekers? We have 3 different levels of our services. That Wagner-Pizer Act that I talked about is this self-directed people. And then we have staff assisted, and we also have some funding, and I'll kind of go through each of them. Our self-directed people can come into the office. They can use our computers, they can use our fax machine, they can come to some of our workshops, they can use our internet, they use some of our skill assessment programs, they have access to our resource libraries, our fax machines, our copiers, all of that they can just do on their own. They walk in, they get a card, it's called an East Bay Works card, we track it for our purposes, and they just come in and do their business. We also have a few people that have been coming in for years because they own a small business, and they kind of use us as their some of their business facilities. Those that decide to apply for, and really it's just federal paperwork, but those that decide to get into the WIOA and take the next step up have more access to our staff, to more of our workshops, and to some of the training that we have available. And we have a job developer. We have 2 case managers on staff, people that can work with you one-on-one. They come in, they'll work with you and talk to you about where you came from, what jobs have you done, and what kinds of transferable skills you have. If you want to change careers, what kind of skills do you have? If you're a physicist, can you use in what other kinds of jobs can you do with those skills? Not much, right? or who's actually hiring physicists these days, right? So we have, in that connection, we know exactly where the jobs are and who's hiring in what kinds of positions. We know where the growth is. We have access, and actually even our self-directed people have access to all the labor market information that the EDD puts out for, and where the growth is, what kinds of skills are needed for certain kinds of jobs. If you find a job or a company you want, what kinds of jobs are they hiring for, what kind of skills does that occupation take, and those types of things. These are just a few of the workshops that we offer our clients. We're obviously offering resume building, how to write an appropriate resume, because you wouldn't believe what people think is going to be. And employers are getting hundreds, sometimes for some jobs, thousands of resumes for just one particular job opening. So because of the fluidity of people, people are willing to jump jobs for an extra, extra couple dollars an hour, or for a different experience, or a lighter commute, and that sort of thing. So the amount of resumes that employers get is unbelievable. So we teach people how to apply for jobs. We teach people how to make sure that their resume is going to get read by the machines, or somebody's going to pick out the different keywords that they want from a job description. We teach them how to interview. We teach them interview skills. We have a workshop for older workers. We have mock interviews. We have interviews for LinkedIn to use the technology and the hiring practices that employers are using now. We also have the Job Club as a networking opportunity for people to share their experiences, to learn about different things that they've done, what worked and what didn't work, what kinds of things that we can do to help people. And there is a multitude of, also a list of these things. This happens to be on, I don't feel so bad about this one because one, it's too small, but there's a list, the yellow sheet of paper on your table has all of the listing that's on this particular slide. We also have an opportunity to help people be certified in a number of skills. Practice the software and then be certified for a number of skills. We're probably the cheapest one in the valley for typing tests, and if you're trying to get a job for the city of Dublin, Livermore, Pleasanton, Alameda County, that sort of thing, they all want 40 words a minute, and you have to have somebody certify you that you did that. So we have that software, and then we also have the software for 10-key, for medical transcriptions, and that sort of thing. So we offer all of that as well. These are some of the populations that we work with. We're obviously working with students. We're working with, we have a particular program with veterans. We have a veterans representative that comes into the office on a weekly basis to work with veterans that are looking for work. And I'll talk to you about a program that we also have at the labs with the veterans as well. We have somebody from DOR, the Department of Rehabilitation, come in and that's helping people with disabilities looking for work. We have her on site. We work with CalWorks people, limited English. The general public is basically what we're working with.
Is there, pardon me?
Yeah.
Is there a population that just doesn't want to work, unemployed people by choice?
There's parts of them that are unemployed by choice. There are some that are potentially mentally unstable that can't work. But the Department of Rehabilitation has an opportunity to help those as well. So, you know, my background, I lived in Oregon for 15 years, and before that I was in the poverty reduction, if you want to call it the realm of poverty reduction. And yeah, there are some. But you wouldn't believe how hard-working somebody in poverty actually is. Somebody in poverty is working 1.2 jobs for every one job we're working, and just in order to make ends meet. So I did a lot. I spent years trying to debunk myths on that type of stuff. Oh, another thing we're doing is reentry populations. That's the big thing for the federal government right now, right? Is to minimize recidivism and make sure that to lessen the number of people that are behind cages or jails within our federal penitentiary system. So we work with 2 different facilities in Dublin, both the Santa Rita Jail and the Women's Institute, the Federal Corrections Institute, in a pre-reentry, so getting them ready to get out.
Question.
Yeah?
Do you actually fund the Veterans Affairs?
We do not. We do not. So this is again the pre-reentry. One of the most exciting programs we have that is we're working with some veterans that have recently been out of the military, and they are looking for direction, and they don't necessarily want to do what they were doing in the military. And we created the community college has created a program called that's an Associate of Science for Engineering Technologist. And one of the sweet spots for jobs these days is that technology mid-level job. It's not the low-paying job, and it's not the high-paying job. It's that one that you can get the skills, a certificate, and then move up a ladder. And these, mostly guys, a couple women, by cohort are going through this program, and then we pay for their internship at the Livermore Labs in the summertime. So that they have, and so it's a collaboration between the labs, the college, and the Workforce Investment Board, and we're getting these people ready to be technologists in the industry. And then that is our pre-reentry program at the jails. So that's the basic of our job seeker services. On the flip side of that coin, we also have employer services, and working with the employers to make sure that they have qualified employees in a robust workforce. So I think I said we've been around since 1998. In 2014, the Alameda County WIB kind of switched up. We have that one particular job developer who was both client-focused and employer-focused. They took that employer focus out of us, and I'll show you a little bit why. They took that employer focus out and gave it to another organization so that that organization can concentrate on the services to the employers. And then we work together to match our clients with the employer's needs. They call it the Business Development Group. And one of the reasons they did this is because they're of the 4 different main one-stops in the Alameda County purview, we're all talking to the same employers and telling them exactly the same thing. You could go to Tri-Cities, which is in the Fremont, Newark area. You could, the Alameda one in, if we're all talking to Kaiser with multiple different offices, they don't want that. They want one company coming and saying, we've got these services. So what they did, instead of all of us talking to the same employers, is they pulled that out and they have one organization, which is called KRA. But we're integrated in talking to they talk to the employers and then we kind of work with them to do that. Some of the services we have for employers, we have training, we have on-the-job training where we can pay for the training cost, portion of the training costs for somebody coming in that you've hired. We also have training, we have contract training where our customized training where we can come in if you have a new machinery and you don't want to lay somebody off, but you have to retrain, so people need to get new training for particular machineries, we can do that for you. We have on-site recruitments in our offices. We have, we're integral in helping with the job fairs at the outlet mall. We have layoff aversions. We can screen candidates for you. And the size of the employers that we work with, somebody asked me that the other day, is what's your sweet spot on the size of employer? It's small to medium. The larger ones, as soon as they have their own HR department, stop really needing our particular help. But we do have very large organizations that have outlets in the Tri-Valley area. Marshalls, for example, or we have several different large national companies with stores here in the region that help us, that we're working with. One of the biggest pieces for the employer is the access to the East Bay Works Online, which is our database for the employers and for where they go together. You can search resumes and the job seeker can search for the opening positions. Part of the savings that an employer can get, there's direct cost savings by posting. There's so many different job boards for an employer these days. Craigslist, Monster, Indeed. Over and over and over, I can just name off several of them. We consolidate that into East Bay Works Online. And it doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't cost the clients a thing. It doesn't cost the employer a thing. You can save on recruiting fees. You can save on, we pay for on-the-job training. And then we also have recruitment events for you. And then there's also the cost avoidance, where participating in job fairs and reducing your turnover in your employees. This is just a snapshot of East Bay Works Online, so you can see in very small print where. Let's see if I can do this. This is talking to you about. This is Alameda County, California, and this is where you would look for an employee. You're looking for any salary. You're looking for what kind of education you're looking for, that they're active within the last 3 months. What kind of occupation, and these drop-down fields have a huge amount of data. You can also get labor market information, so this whole area of the website, I encourage you to go to East Bay Works Online if you are an employer and look it up, because it's a hugely dynamic website. The other thing that we do is concentrate on particular industries. Of those of us, of the one-stops in the Alameda County area, we all have concentrated on what's called the growth industries. In the Alameda County back in 2012, 12 or so, did a bunch of research and found out that in the Tri-Valley area, energy and engineering were probably the high-growth, high-wage industries for this area. And it turns out that also healthcare is going to be, in the next 3 years, one of the largest employers of this region. So we're going to be concentrating, we concentrate a lot of our training dollars on energy and engineering. And we'll be switching that up to include healthcare as well. Lest you believe that we're only working for people in retail, these are some of the recent placements that we've had, some of the recent jobs that we've got. So we've placed HRs, we've placed data analysts, we've placed retail and merchandisers. We've had 2 engineers just recently get jobs. We have preschool teachers, so it's the gamut, right? So it's from the number of job openings it's just getting more and more. So the things that we do with our partners, and we want to be a good partner in the community because we are not. None of us are isolated and need to be good partners. We are part of the college is part of the community. So we have several different things that we're working with. We offer free taxes. We're going to be in our 3rd year in this next tax season. We're recruiting volunteers. So if you talk to Millie, if you're looking for volunteers, if you're looking for what that experience is like, it's an extremely rewarding experience to help people with their income taxes. And we're looking to expand we've just done it in our one stop, we're looking to expand it into the Pleasanton Library and such. We also, like I said, we work with the re-entries. We do roadshows, so we take our resume building, our interview tips out to the community. We'll take them out, we work in the Dublin Library. We work at the Horizons Family Services in Livermore. And helping people, immigrants who are looking for work that might not have great English, we'll help them with their resumes as well. And we also have the libraries are some of our biggest referrals, libraries and other job clubs. And when a librarian sees somebody working on East Bay Works in the library, they don't necessarily know how that's the ins and outs of that website. So we go into the libraries and train the staff so that they understand that website better and can help the public, help their clients. So it's kind of train the trainer. We're always looking for referrals. So the one stop in the future is going to be high tech, high touch. There are a lot of people that need that one-on-one case management. They need that face-to-face type thing. But there are going to be, and I was talking to Susan about her granddaughter and her teaching methods and how she uses more technology. Well, the people in that bubble of population growth are going to be using more technology. The employers are using more technology, so we are going to be keeping up with that and using more upgrading our website and having the technology that people can have Skype interviews in our office. They can do web-based webinars, and they can potentially in the next couple of years actually have some of that case management done online, so that very similar to when you dial up your bank and they don't want to pay somebody to talk to you in person. They want to do the web-based conversation with you. That's what we can do, or I hope that we can do. That's what I'm working towards. We are right now open 9 to 5, Monday through Thursday. Most of the staff is part-time, so hopefully as funding becomes more available, we'll open more hours and be available to people who are working and open our hours later. And this, I'm at the end, so that's good. And then we're continuing, of course, our one-to-one workshops. So I'd be remiss if I didn't get a slide in that says, how can you guys help me? Spread the word, because obviously I'm the best kept secret. And if you have the expertise or the time to do this, we would love volunteers. Preparing taxes, if you have an expertise that you would like to share with a job seeker, I'd be more than willing to talk to you about it. We also have the opportunity to conduct mock interviews. Rather than coming and talking to somebody that they already know, to have a stranger, because that's how somebody's going to go into an interview, to have a stranger come in and give them and interview somebody is much more powerful, and it's much more threatening to a job seeker, so that practice is really good. And then follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Yeah, that's pretty. No, it's not. It's still. Thank you. There it is. Yeah. Any questions? Yes.
For the 2 centers in the Tri-Valley,
Yes.
within the last year, what's been the total budget and how many jobs have they placed?
My total budget is about $450,000 a year. And the number of jobs, I've only been there since January, but we probably have about 150 people that we see on a regular basis that we case manage. We have about 150 active people that we case manage on a regular basis. And of those, we probably get about, per month, we probably have about 5 or 6 job placements per month. Yeah,
So,
that they tell us. Because one of the parts is that they go away and we don't know if they've gotten a job or not.
Okay.
Part of that problem, that's the hardest part, is following up.
so order 70 people placed for $400,000.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have one more quick question.
Yeah.
Very quickly, how about reaching down to younger people at even the middle school or high school levels to help prepare them so that they are really going to be equipped to find good work in this environment? Do you guys do that, or do you point them to other resources?
I do work with there's 3 or 4 high schools in the region that have academies that work within the engineering and energy areas. Livermore High has a green energy academy, and Amador has, and Dublin both have engineering. And I work with those teams, in fact, tomorrow morning, and the ROP, working with them to help connect employers, so the employers can come in and talk to the students and talk to them about what jobs are available and what the skills are that they're going to need for those. Yeah.
Can you stay around after the meeting to answer questions? If there are any more questions? Okay, wait. We have a gift that we normally give our speakers, so you have your choice. Some of our local wine.
You know, either one of those. My husband would want either one. I'll take the olive. Thank you.